Hi everyone. Friday is finally here, so happy Friday everybody. I hope that you are having a fantastic day to the end of your week, and I hope that you have a great weekend coming up and have some plans this weekend. Prayerfully, hopefully it will be sunnier where you are. I can definitely say I am ready to see some sunshine. So welcome again to Beauty Among Us. This is our second day on here. I'm going to be following through with you guys with how we are doing the sourdough starter. So this is our next step. And like I told you yesterday, we let it sit for 48 hours instead of 24 to start getting that growth on it. And I'm going to take my camera and I'm going to reverse it and let you see the bubbles. See the bubbles down inside the jar? It is really awesome to see it, guys. I'm so excited. So excited with how it's turning out. So this is the next step. Before we ever get ready to make bread, we've really got to get that yeast growing inside of our sourdough starter. So I'm going to lower the camera a little bit, the phone, so you can see the jar, like that. All right, there we go. So this is technically our third feeding. We started it, which is your first day. Your second day is adding the same amount. It's going to be constantly the same amount of flour and water. Half a cup of flour up to a third of a cup of water. That's going to be your consistent feeding each time you're feeding this. So like I said, we're trying to get this yeast to grow inside of this starter. So this is our third feeding. Yesterday we added a half a cup of flour and a third of a cup of water and let it sit another 24 hours. It got really bubbly overnight, and it had grown actually up to over half of the jar. A little mishap on my fault this morning. I went to move the jar, jostled it a little bit, and when I did, it lost a little bit of its volume, but I think it would still be perfectly fine to get this starter going. So today, step 3, your third feeding. What you want to do is you want to divide the starter. You can take what you take out and you can feed it in another jar to get another jar of starter going. You can definitely use a different kind of flour if you want to. From what I've read up, you can try to do whole wheat flour, or just to get experimental with it and try different things. Or you can discard that cup that you take out. It's going to be about a cup that you take out of it. I'm going to do another jar of starter. I'm going to do it in case I have anyone that wants to try it. If I have a friend that I can pass it along to that would like to try to do their make their bread. So what we're going to do, I have a scale over here. I have just like an old timey weight scale. I definitely need to invest in a digital scale because they are much more accurate. So we're going to try to evenly divide our starter. So I took my original jar and I weighed it, so I would know about how much I need to take out. Like I said, it's going to be about a cup to divide. I'm just going to pour it into the jar. So we have approximately the same amount in both jars. Now, we're going to do the same thing that we done yesterday. Again, we're going to do a half a cup of flour and a third of a cup of water. Like I mentioned yesterday, you want to be sure you use a glass jar and a wooden spoon because yeast does not like metal or aluminum. So we definitely want to do everything like that we're supposed to do. Baking and working with yeast is very precise and very tricky. So again, I'm using unbleached all-purpose flour. You can use organic, you can use, I've heard some people use whole wheat flour too. So we're gonna evenly measure out a half a cup of flour. Today I'm gonna put it in a cup, in like a little plastic cup, to help pour it into my jar. I'm going to do my first jar, my original jar first. So we're just going to add our flour like You want to take 1/3 cup of filtered water. Again, you want to try to use filtered water. And slowly add anywhere from 1/4 to 1/3 cup. And you want to mix it up. Really good. It's really cool watching it grow and form its own yeast. That's basically what you're doing, is making your own yeast. And after 6 days, you should have enough growth in there where you can start making bread. I'm so excited. Really. I never knew I would be so excited over trying to make starter, but it's so cool to watch it. It's kind of like a science project. Just make sure it's good and mixed up in there. And just clean your spoon off. Like that. All right. Now we're going to do the same thing to this other jar. Again, you want to loosely cover it with a rag, paper towel, and let it sit for 24 hours again. And we're going to do the same thing to this one. Whew, I'm so excited. Again, measure out a 1/3, half of a cup, half of a cup of flour. Evenly spoon it across the top. I find using a cup makes it a whole lot easier to pour it into the jar. Just gently pour it in there, like that. All right, now we're going to do our water again. 1/3 cup of filtered water. And just pour it in there. Then we're going to stir this one up too. Stir it up really good. So now I'll have 2 starters going. Tomorrow will be day 4, and once we get to day 4, 5, and 6, you will feed it twice a day instead of just once. Alright, mixed up in there. It's already beginning to smell very yeasty, y'all. Clean off your spoon. Like I said, always remember when working with yeast, use a glass jar and a wooden spoon. I think you'll be much happier with the results of your bread. It'll be fun, you guys. So then we're going to do the same thing with this one. Cover it with a paper towel or a rag, and then you can just put a rubber band around it. Now we're going to let that sit for another 24 hours, and then tomorrow we will feed it again. And I believe on day 4, 5, and 6 you will feed it twice. What we'll do is we'll take half of it out, discard it, or if you want to, make even more starter, and then we'll just keep the process going. It's a great way to share with friends, with loved ones. If they want to get into bread making, you can pass what you take out. You can pass it along to them, or you can get rid of it. There's just all kinds of different things you can actually do with the starters. Different kinds of breads that you can make. So I am so excited about this. I cannot wait to see how it does, to see if it makes a really good loaf of bread. I'm so glad that you guys are here with me, watching and following along with me. As I've told you many times before, we will either make it together or we will fail at it. You will see me make it or not make it with the bread. So it's a good learning process for me. I hope that it's a learning process for you. I hope that I can encourage you to try it, to get creative, to get excited about making things on your own and making your own foods and your own breads. And I'm just excited to share this journey along with you guys. So again, this is our day 3 of our starter, and we have to do it for at least 6 days to get a good yeast going inside of there. So we've got 2 jars now. I'm going to sit these over because my home is a little bit cool in the winter times, I'm going to sit this over towards the coffee pot. It's a little bit warmer over there. There's a fluorescent light over there too, so it stays a little warmer in that corner. So yes, as my mom's just reminded me, she researched yesterday, and somebody even said you could take a heating pad on like a low setting and set the jar on the heating pad to keep it kind of at a warm consistency. Helps the yeast to grow and help the process to go along a little faster. So I am excited to share this with you guys. I'm so glad that you're here with me. Tomorrow will be day 4, and I will be back on here with you, showing you the process of how we're doing it. This time we will have 2 jars, so it's really cool to watch it grow, to watch the bubbles form. It's so cool. I'm so excited. So thank you guys for being with me today. It was very quick today. A very quick process going on here. So it's like I said, it's like a science project. So that's really, really fun and really cool to share with you guys. I've never been a science fan, but when it comes to food and to recipes and to trying different things in the kitchen, I am all for it. And I'm always the one there trying different ideas and different ways to go. So thank you again for being with me today. Make it a blessed day. Be kind, show love to those around you, and remember to find the beauty in all things, both big and little. So I hope that you have a great weekend, and we will see you guys again tomorrow with the next step of this bread, of this starter for our bread. So have a great one, everyone. Bye.